The Moscow Police Department has identified the type of weapon they are looking for in the Moscow homicide investigation.
And what campus police are doing to ensure students' safety in response to this homicide. Next on Murrow News 8.
Northwest Public Broadcasting Studios on the campus of Washington State University. This is Murrow News 8.
Good evening, I'm Grady Glover.
And I'm Emmett Savoris. Welcome to Murrow News 8.
On Sunday, November 13th, 4 University of Idaho students were stabbed to death in their home on King Road, which is only a few blocks from the U of I Greek Row. As of right now, here's what we know. 4 students were killed between 3 and 4 a.m. on Sunday morning. There was no forced entry and the front door was open when police arrived. Originally, it was a call for an unconscious person, but when police arrived, they found the 4 bodies. Police revealed that there were 2 other roommates in the home when the attacks took place, but they were unharmed. There's currently no suspect and there is no murder weapon in custody of the police. As of this afternoon, the autopsy report is complete and the bodies have been released to the families of the victims.
Currently, we have 25 plus investigators working this case, as well as assistance from the Federal Bureau of Investigation and the Idaho State Police. We're reviewing video that has been collected, but we are asking citizens to contact us with any information.
Police are asking anyone that has a doorbell camera to give that footage over to the police to help establish a timeline of what happened early in the morning on that Sunday and what it looked like for those victims. Over in Moscow, our reporter Allison Martinez visited the home where the homicide occurred to give us an update. Over to you, Allison.
Thanks, guys. We're here in Moscow at the home where the homicide of the 4 University of Idaho students occurred, just a block away from Greek Row. As you can see, the home behind me is 3 stories tall, and we just learned new information yesterday in a press conference with Moscow PD that there were 2 additional roommates who were living in the home and do remain unharmed. At this point, this is the only update we have, but police are still urging the public to come forward with any information by contacting the number on your screen. Allison Martinez, Murrow News 8.
Thank you, Allison. The FBI, state police, and Moscow police are all working together to handle the forensic evidence on the case. Earlier this morning, Idaho State Police were at the crime scene taking pictures and collecting more evidence. We spoke to police, but they were unable to tell us what forensics they were looking for this morning.
The vigil that was set to take place last night has been moved until after fall break. The vigil had been moved because many students have left campus due to the current situation as well as fall break. The new date for the vigil will be November 30th on the U of I Administration Building lawn.
WSU PD released a statement yesterday regarding the ongoing investigation in Moscow. If you take a look on your screen, you will see that WSU PD's statement has links to information about security services and security on campus, numbers to call for transportation services. It also encourages anyone who might have the information and the info to aid the investigation to call the Moscow Police tip line.
Now, in response to the events in Idaho, WSU Chancellor Elizabeth Chilton released a statement to the Pullman community with resources available to students, faculty, and staff. Now, listed here are the after-hours crisis hotline number, the phone number for the CAPS appointment scheduling system, and a suicide and crisis lifeline. Any students seeking help are encouraged to use these resources. Now, coming up, a new place to eat may be coming to Pullman soon. We'll tell you where that is.
And why you might want to drive home a little bit slower before the holiday break. Next on Murrow News 8. Can you get Matt out here?
After being the first female leader of the House of Democrats for over 20 years, Speaker Nancy Pelosi announced she is not pursuing a leadership position after Republicans took control of Congress. On Thursday, Pelosi gave a speech in which she said that the time had come for a new generation to lead. Number 2 Democrat Steny Hoyer has endorsed Hakeem Jeffries as his choice for the next Democratic leader.
Yesterday, the Senate advanced the Respect for Marriage Act, which provides federal protections to same-sex and interracial marriages. The vote ended 62 to 37 in favor of the bill, with 12 Republicans joining the 50 Democratic senators. According to PBS, the bill does not codify same-sex marriage, but it recognizes marriage between two individuals regardless of their sex, race, ethnicity, or national origin.
If you're sick of Southside food, get ready because there could be a new option on campus opening as soon as 2025. The new dining hall is a $60 million project that is part of a larger multi-building project known as the Southside Neighborhood Renovation Project.
It'll be sad seeing it go, but I think it'll also be nice just to have like new place, nicer, cleaner.
Washington State Patrol will be conducting emphasis patrol.
He skipped the whole fucking thing.
Washington State Patrol will be conducting emphasis patrols starting today as students travel home for Thanksgiving break. Pullman Radio says that District 4 troopers in Spokane, Whitman, and Adams County will be focusing on speeding violations and impaired driving on State Routes 26 and 195.
This Saturday marks the official beginning of fall break for WSU, and many students have already left for home. The Snoqualmie Pass is always something to monitor when driving back to the west side, but luckily it appears to be dry and barren at this point. This dry spell is expected to last until Sunday, so students are advised to drive home before then for the safest ride. Well, Catherine, the pass is good for now, but those driving home in the next few days, are they going to see snow on that pass, or what's it going to look like? How are they going to stay healthy?
Let's go talk about it. Let's go head on over to the weather wall. So, we do have a little bit of a cold front in Pullman today. It's 39, low of 17. That 17 is feeling a little bit more like a 12, so just be prepared for that. The sun is going to set right about a couple minutes ago, so you don't need to worry about that. And it's going to have a little bit of a wind chill, but not so much. So let's look into tomorrow, because that's kind of really what matters a little bit more. It's going to be freezing. So we're going to have a high of 32, a low of 19. So that means it's right at freezing. Be careful. Watch the roads. If you feel like you can't drive, that's okay. Just hang out for a little bit. It'll be fine. There's going to be an 8-mile-an-hour wind, so it's still going to be a little chilly. The sun's going to set at 4:11. So if you want to you need to make sure you're over the pass before it gets dark. Cold, dark, potential ice when the temperatures are going to go down is not really a good thing. So let's go ahead and look at the 5-day forecast here, or we can do the state too. We're going to do the state of Washington. So over on the west side, it's a little bit warmer, so you won't have to worry about road conditions that much, but it is going to be a problem driving home from Pullman to Seattle because of how cold it is. Seattle's obviously a little bit colder, warmer. We're a lot colder. So just be really careful. In the 5-day forecast coming up in Pullman, a lot of us are going home, so this isn't really going to be really applicable to us, but it's still good to know what's going on so you can watch the weather. I'm going to step off so you can take a look. It's going to be mostly cold, and then on Tuesday it's going to start raining. We don't know exactly what's going to happen for Apple Cup or after we get back, but we'll make sure to get that to you tomorrow. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Kat. Up next, heat from Coach Dickert about what he says about how this team is going to take on playing their former quarterback.
Diego Moctezuma is going to have your sports next on Murrow News 8.
WSU volleyball team will be hosting the start of their 4-game home stretch on Friday at 7 p.m. against Utah. The Cougars swept the first matchup of the season in Salt Lake City, led by Jansen's 20 kills and Katie Ryan's 8 blocks. They look to keep their momentum going following their first 2-0 weekend. They will then host 3 more home matches to close out the regular season. After losing to 4 teams ranked in the top 25, WSU is coming off a 2-game win streak as they look to face Arizona on Saturday. Jaden Delore, former WSU quarterback, transferred to play for Arizona. He is playing great, throwing for 3,128 yards, 24 touchdowns, and 3 rushing touchdowns. You can see on your screen he has never lacked talent. WSU head coach Dickert had this to say.
Opportunity that we have this week. We're not playing one individual. We're playing an Arizona team that's much improved. Credit to Coach Fish, credit to his recruiting, credit to his staff. They're much improved. Offensively, they're one of the best in the country. They have a defense that's playing fast and hard. Our focus needs to be on that and what we need to do and improve and what we need to do this afternoon.
The WSU women's basketball team are currently 3-0 as they head to Hawaii to play BYU in North Shore Showcase. This will be the 13th meeting all time with these 2 schools, but the first time it is in a neutral location. WSU will be looking to go 4-0 in the season. Charlize Ledger-Walker had tied for the fastest player to reach 1,000 career points in only 57 games. That 3-pointer you are seeing is what sealed it. This team will tip off for their next game at Friday on 5 p.m. Pacific time. Washington State's swimming team broke a school record with 7 of the top 10 times on the opening day of the Art Adamson Invitation on Wednesday. The Cougars tallied 53 points and finished 6 out of 7 teams. Other teams received points in diving, which WSU did not participate in. As one of the swimmers said, they look to keep breaking records and be in the top 10.
Now coming up, why snow is keeping this team out of their home stadium.
Next on Murrow News 8. The NFL moved this weekend's game featuring the Cleveland Browns and Buffalo Bills to Detroit due to a massive snowstorm in the area. 3 to 6 feet of snow is being predicted in Orchard Park, New York. For context, the tallest running back on the Buffalo Bills roster is Eastern Washington's Tywan Jones, who is exactly 6 foot.
Thank you for watching. If you missed anything in this or any of our previous newscasts, you can always watch us on our YouTube channel.
More news can be found at nwpb.org/mn8, and you can follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Have a good night.